Hey there. So nice to see you. I'm here in my office in Bend and thinking a little bit about sexual initiation. People talk to me about this absolutely all the time. So the issue for us is feeling like our partner actually desires us, that that other person, your partner is interested in you, right? When your partner doesn't initiate any kind of intimacy or sex or connection, it's hard to feel like they really want you, right? And if you're always the one who's doing the heavy lifting of inviting your partner, saying to that person, hey, how about we get together? It's been a while since we had sex. It's not really been happening between us. Are you interested in me? You might be feeling like you're doing too much of the heavy lifting in the initiation part. It's so true that once we get going for lots and lots of people, the sex is pretty good. I mean, we don't tend to have a huge problem. Some of us do, and there's lots of problems that we talk about, but some of us or lots of us are okay once we get past the hump, literally, of being together, right? We like that thing, the initiation, getting it started, lighting the spark, all of that feels so difficult. And when your partner doesn't seem to be interested, it can make you feel really unattractive. I can't tell you how often I hear about this in my practice, either with couples, sometimes individuals. It's super, super difficult because it's so vulnerable for you to say, I want to be with you, I want to touch you, I want to be intimate with you, and your partner feels like that everything else is more important. So why does it matter? It's tough to feel desired when you feel like your partner is not making an offer. It's kind of like you want to go to coffee with somebody, but they never suggest going to Bellataza, for example. So you're like, hey, you want to go for coffee? Hey, you want to go for coffee? Hey, you want to go for coffee? Or come over for a barbecue or something like that. And they never really want to, or if they do, it seems like they're like kind of doing you a favor in order to please you, but it's not coming from the heart for them. They're not really into it. Now, this isn't always true. Lots of people are just kind of have responsive desire. And this is a very typical thing for us. We've talked here about the book Come As You Are by Emily Nagoski, which is so important, tells us so much about reactive desire, oftentimes in women, sometimes in men, where once we're invited to the barbecue, to a sexual experience with our partner, we feel great about it. Like we want that, like we want to be there, but we don't kind of make the move. And it's a huge point of contention for a lot of people. You also, if you're the person who usually makes the offer, who initiates, it takes more energy for you, right? Because you not only have to, you identify your own desire, you're interested, maybe there's a time that you feel like it'd be great for the two of you to be together, and you have to be vulnerable and make the ask. And sometimes it's just too much effort for you, and you just like it if your partner says like, hey, we've got an hour here, the house is empty, kids are gone to a sleepover, whatever. Why don't we play? Why don't we have some beautiful time together? And that makes you feel so alive and so desired. It's very, very tough. And this is a huge piece for my clients and just for people I talk to. There's also this fear of rejection that you have if you're the person who usually makes the offer, who usually initiates. You have to like put yourself out there. And so often your partner is not in the mood, or is tired, or it's not a good time, or you feel like you're not reading the tea leaves properly. You don't know if that person really wants to be with you because their signals are so hard to read. We think that maybe a kiss or a hug means that your partner wants to have sex, but it might not be true. So then you say, gosh, do you want to get together? Or you touch your partner in a certain way, but they don't want to. And then you feel rejected again. So that fear of rejection is also huge. So what should you do about it? One thing, as I mentioned constantly, is to talk about it. Because if you tell him, her, them that you're feeling like you're doing too much of the invisible work in your sex life, by initiating and having to be the one who constantly initiates, that will maybe help things, because then you're you've got it out on the table. So when your partner doesn't want to, for example, you're not going to have this sense of, first of all, rejection and resentment that also shows up for you. You're not going to feel that nearly as much if you're communicating. Like, I am such a fan of real communication, communicating, talking with each other, letting each other know what's happening. Like if you said to me, like, I want to be with you, and I'm like, oh, I'm sorry, I've got XYZ going on, but I really want you. I'd like, how about tomorrow morning? That might make you feel a lot better, right? Because you're like, I'm not rejecting you wholesale, like all the time. I'm just like, this isn't a good time. So when you have this conversation, and not just in the moment when you want sex, like more of a global conversation about it, like when would work for us? What types of times are good for us? Do you like mornings? Do you like evenings? What about when the kids are asleep, or if you don't have kids or they're gone? You don't, like, when is it you feel more aroused? So many people have problems with their schedule that keep them from being able to be sexual. So like, talk about it, number one. Number two, make a plan to balance the initiation more. So if you're the person who's constantly asking and offering, inviting your partner to the so-called barbecue, if you're always the one who makes the offer, then you might want to create a balance between the two of you and say, like, hey, I've initiated 3 or 4 times the last X number of weeks or months or however long it's been. Then, can you do some of that heavy lifting for me too? So I want to feel desired. I swear, these words, if I hear these words once every day, I hear it 100 times every day. I want to feel desired. I want to feel desired. When you don't seem like you want me, then I don't feel desired. I don't feel like you're turned on to me. And that makes me feel really crummy and like there's something wrong with me. Now just point, it's not you. It's the dynamic, it's the relationship. It may be something happening with your partner. So we don't have to assign that blame to you, so to speak. You don't have to take it on yourself. This whole piece of codependency applies here too, right? The other person's feelings aren't your fault, so to speak, or your responsibility. But for some couples, there is this plan that works, and that is that the other person always does the initiating. So sometimes it might be good for you to set it up so like, hey, I'm going to always be the one who does the initiation. I'm in charge of that. And I will always be the one making the offer. We're going to arrange that we both know that I'm that person. And when we do that, then I'm going to feel like this is the plan. This is okay because this is how we've established, because maybe your partner really likes being desired too. And that's what turns that person on. So it could be that you decide with your partner that that's what you're going to do. So you could either create a plan to balance the initiation more, or create a plan that you're going to be the one who does that part. It is, though, important for you to realize, for you and your partner to realize, that sexual initiation is work. It's sexual work, right? There's all sorts of things that are so-called work in our sex lives. And bringing energy to sex and sexuality, letting the other person feel like you are ready, you are opening to them, that's huge. Now, if you're the person who is kind of the recipient of the other person's desire, so your partner always does the asking, it's important for you, if you're that person, to give them feedback. So let them know how much you like them initiating, how much you like them desiring you. When you do that, that is going to give them that feedback that, yes, you do want them. You just like it very much when they initiate with you. I have a client who the other day said, when he's turned on, I'm turned on, which is fantastic. So in their case, he always does the initiating. That works out for them. As long as it's balanced and you both feel good about it, you're golden. That's it for today. I'll talk with you next week. I hope everything is amazing in your world. Here in Bend, Oregon, it is sunny. So feeling really good about that. Talk later. Bye-bye.